Now, let's get a little bit spicier.
Hi, my name is Daniel, and I'm a Lyft driver, and I feel that when you tear down the Confederate monuments, you actually destroy a part of the history that we need to recognize.
Hello, my name is Christopher. I am an actor, and I'm also
Why are you copying Demon Mama? I have no idea what Demon Mama's up to. I don't watch Demon Mama's content all that often, but I do like Demon Mama.
Confederate monuments.
I've been called like a racist just because, you know, I feel that Confederate monuments should not be torn down.
I think that Confederate monuments are honoring people that fought against our country and fought for ideals such as slavery that I don't agree with. I'm Christopher, nice to meet you.
Hey, I'm Daniel, nice to meet you.
I hear we have different views about Confederate monuments.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be painful.
What do you think about them?
I think that tearing them down is a bit too far. What do you think?
Ooh, I love watching like the body posture. Like you can already tell he's very aggressive and a little bit defensive on the outset because he's kind of like hunching forward but also hunching in.
I think that they should just be removed from where they are. I don't believe that they should be in, you know, government buildings and things like that outside where they can be taken out of context, because I think they were built for a specific reason. And I think so maybe in a history museum or something like that where there can be sort of, you know, a thing that says exactly who they're honoring or whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't think that they should just be outside.
Founding fathers like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, they owned slaves, right? So we have monuments of them. So do you feel that we should...
Volume's a bit low. That's because the volume on the video is low, but I'll turn it up as high as I can, okay?
Take all this stuff down just because they own slaves as well?
No, I don't, because I don't think that the reason why these monuments were built is because to support the fact that they, you know, had slaves and things like that. These monuments specifically were built because of these founding fathers, you know, like, for example, Washington being our first president and basically defining what it means to be a president. But the Confederate monuments specifically are honoring people who fought against our country.
I think these monuments are preserving history, and I believe that when we destroy...
Preserving history? You mean like in a museum that's made to preserve history?
them, we're forgetting about why they're there. And when you forget about that, history it can and will repeat itself.
Yeah, and I understand.
Wait, how? How would history repeat itself, dude? What, is America gonna re-enslave black people? How? What? He's so self-satisfied about it, too. Like, look at this expression. Rapscallion Queen, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Welcome to the community welcome to the community sub club, okay? The next step is becoming part of the mug club, all right? You take down one, look, we're one statue away. That's what they don't tell you, okay? That's what our anarchist government doesn't tell you, okay? We're one statue away from re-enslaving black people, okay? Crowder's Mug Club? No, the Riverboat Jack Mug Club. The Superior Mug Club.
But I don't think that we should destroy them necessarily. I think that they should be moved to a proper place.
How much is that going to cost on our budget? Do you think that we should use our money?
How much is that going to cost on our budget? Dude, Trump spent billions of dollars building a border wall that isn't effective. What are you talking about? One missile that we buy from Raytheon costs, more than it would cost to remove every single Confederate statue in the United States.
Our government to move statues just because it hurts some people's feelings?
Well, it doesn't just hurt people's feelings. People are being murdered because of this. People are going to protest. And for example, in Charlottesville, when they were protesting...
Honestly, if you look into the history of, Civil War and Confederate monuments in particular, Zach, most of those monuments were built in the 1950s as an acceptable way of opposing, of opposing desegregation. Yeah, the Daughters of the Confederacy. But for people who don't know, I would be totally fine if every single statue built by the Daughters of the Confederacy was melted down into slag, okay? Nothing would be lost. Nothing would be lost. Oh yeah, Sarsek, the vast majority of Confederate monuments were built in the 1950s and 60s, specifically to, like, protest against, like, black people getting the Civil Rights Act. Every single one of those, they were actually so commonly built that there were factories that mass produced these statues. So, for those, like, fuck it. Melt them down into slag, give them to, like, black artists to, like, craft into something cool or something, you know? There's way better stuff that we can put in their place. For things that are older, I guess, put those in museums. I don't give a fuck. Whatever.
The statue there. A guy, a white supremacist or a KKK member, whatever you want to call him, took his car and ran it through a group of people and murdered someone and hurt other people physically.
That was
it's not just emotionally.
That was one crazy person.
But
that was one crazy person out of like.
That was one crazy person out of tons of people who showed up and chanted, the Jews will not replace us. Yeah, it's just one guy! Yay! Authen Shea did a whole series on the statues. I've liked the content I've seen from Authen Shea.
Thousands out of like millions, right? I don't feel that people who...
Yo, this guy has crazy eyes. Look, this guy is just like, yeah, dude, millions of people didn't, like, go on a mass murder spree, bro. Like, I mean, that's good. You kind of look like a serial killer right now, though.
People who support Confederate monuments are bigots, and I don't feel that they're racist. I think racism and bigotry, I think that you're stereotyping it, you know, by saying...
Why don't you feel that way? You're literally supporting people who rebelled against the country to preserve the institution of slavery. Like, if... I don't know, if somebody told me that there was a fictional land called England, right? And in that fictional land, there was, there was a section of the country that was against slavery, and then another section of the country that was for slavery. And the for slavery section of the country rebelled and had to be, like, put down specifically so that, like, slavery could be ended. I would be like, oh, if you support that section of the country, like, yeah, you're clearly in favor of, maintaining that institution. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting hypothetical, I know. But now what if that country got into a Gundam? What then? See, that's what people haven't really been considering. What if that section of the country had Gundam? We're going back to the statue discourse. So we can hear you say "chussy" all over and over again. Chussy.
You know, just because this one person feels this way or this one person feels that way, then the whole group feels that way.
But I think that the reason why people can look at those monuments and see, oh, that's something that is a symbol of racism, is because of the fact that the South was predominantly slave-ridden.
Well, depressed cat boy, ooh woo, you came to the right community for people who are not far right. So, congratulations on getting yourself out of a really shitty ideology. And hopefully we can offer you, a place to have some hope and get better,
That's like
and
African
learn.
American
Yes.
people were fleeing from the South to the North. And
Wolfie,
so you see
385,
those monuments
thanks
of
for the
people
follow.
that were fighting in the war, fighting for slavery, basically. Do you feel that a black person will get equal justice in a courthouse that has a Confederate monument outside of it?
I feel absolutely they'll get equal justice. I've never experienced white privilege in my life. I don't know what that means.
How can you, my dude, how can you say you've never experienced white privilege in your life and then go on to say, but I don't know what that means? If you don't know what it means, then how do you know you've never experienced it? Depressed Catboy, ooh, thank you for the follow. And Serenity Captain, thank you for the gifted tier 1 sub. Red Collective, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate you. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. Alright? America.
Like, I've been treated the same, and I grew up in the South, and I've been to most places around this country. The justice system it's not a perfect system, and I think that it is flawed, and I think that money has a lot to do with the justice system, and I think that if you have a lawyer, you can get out of whatever you want.
Okay, but I think the fact that you said I've never experienced white privilege is telling, because I think you just don't realize that you experience white privilege. And the fact that you also said, like, if you have a lawyer, you have the correct representation, you can get out of it. But black people are predominantly more poor than white people, and like statistically in our country. I feel like they do feel trepidation going into a court that has a Confederate monument outside, because I do personally believe that those are symbols of racism because of the people who built it and what they stand for.
This is the real world. It's like, you know, who cares about what you think, and like oh, I'm intimidated by that. It's like, you know, like you can be intimidated by anything, but that
You're right, brother. Ain't nothing mean nothing. Statues? No, sir, that's just a statue. Don't mean nothing, alright? Flag? The flag, though. That there flag. That flag, the red, white, and blue, those colors run. Those colors run. They mean something to me, damn it. They mean something to me. But them statues, though, they don't mean nothing.
that's nobody else's problem but yours.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Daniel.
Very nice meeting you.
Sharing your opinions and your views.
Thank you, Chris.
Fuck. Okay, wait, that's just where it ended. Alright.
He just sees them as, you know, oh, it's history. You know, there's a lot more involved with that, and the, you know, implicit racism that's there. I think he just doesn't really realize.
I know that I can't convince him to believe the way that I feel, and he can't convince me to believe the way he feels.
Wait, but he doesn't need to convince you to feel the way he feels. He just needs to point out that there are a very large number of people who feel the way he feels. And if that's the case, then yeah, it does intimidate people. And it does mean something different to them.
He even said that, you know, he doesn't have white privilege, and I think he just doesn't even realize what that is, because he just doesn't know that he experiences it and doesn't understand.
Well, you don't think he knows what that is because he explicitly said he didn't know what that is.
Minority disprivilege.
I hope that, you know, he's able
Good night,
to look at things from my perspective, and he doesn't have to agree with